Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? How are you today? Welcome to the weekly VS Code live stream. What's up, chat? How are you? Hypermods. I don't know how to tell you this, but you're first today. Congrats. No one can take that from you. Code Doctor, 22 minutes. Did you get here 22 minutes ago? Jeez. What up, Fatigue? That's a great name. I like that. I can feel that. All right, y'all. Let's start it off. Let's do what we did last week. Who's here last week? What did we do last week? Just a little warm up here. Junaid, what's up? What's up, Demetrius? What's up, Tony? Tony Stark. It's an honor. All right. What did we do last time? Last time we played a game. We'll play another game. Although my computer's moving real slow, so maybe. Did you see the delay there? It was like a 10-second delay between typing and playing the game. Here we go. All right, folks. We are doing Java today, but first, we're going to play Wordle, or Nodle, as we like to call it, the JavaScript implementation of Wordle, which some of you helped build. Thank you so much. What's our first guess? We need a 5-letter word. Give it to me. I know what the best first guess is for Wordle, by the way, scientifically speaking. Apple? All right. Okay, the L is correct. The A is correct-ish. Everything else is wrong. Where are we going next? Why does the terminal look weird? Because I have it maximized, maybe? Is that why? I don't know. Like I just maximized it like that. Learn. Okay. No, because that puts the L in a different position. The L was right the first time. Let's see what else. Crane, CR. No, because there's an L in there, y'all. Look, there's an L at the 4th position. That is Scala. That is not a word. Nope. Made up. Can anyone tell me the purpose? Yeah, we're gonna do Java, but this is like a warm up because here's the thing. Sad. Everybody shows up late to the stream, so we have to kill some time before people actually show up. We're doing Java today. It's all about Java. We got some great demos too, and one of the finest Java advocates in the world, maybe that's ever walked the earth, Manly. Yeah, that's right. Because last week is, again, this doesn't seem like this would be a word. Okay, so we've got that. We're close. Pearl. Hella. No, I don't think hella is not a word. What game is this? Oh, it's called Wordle. This is Wordle. Well, it's our implementation of Wordle. Wordle is, you can play Wordle on the internet. I think the New York Times owns it now. Early. No, it can't because there's no E. Look at result 1. That's a great guess, though. Badly. Great guess? No. We have one more. No, we have 2 more. 1 more, 2 more. Rally. R-A-L-L. No, there's no R. There cannot be an R. Latly. No, we're missing a vowel in there. That's not a word. Your name is Burke. That is true, but not in the word list. Sadly. No, because there's no D. Can't be sadly. Curly. No, it can't be Cadley? That's not a word. Saply. That is not a word. Is it? No. Can't use made up words. There is no R in this word. Correct. Come on. We can get this. We got to move on to Java. If we're going to get to Java, if we're going to do Java's. Oh, the game. Here's the game. The game is we're trying to guess the 5-letter word. If the word is yellow, it's the right letter in the wrong spot. If it's green, it's the right letter in the right spot. If it's gray, it's the wrong letter. Tally. Tally. One more guess. Rally. No, it can't be rally because there's an R here is in the wrong spot on the second result. Daily? DAI. No, it can't be daily. No, it can't be Nancy. No, it can't be daily because, right? Because there's no, it can't be daily because look, the D in the fourth result here. No, Maley is not a word. Wally is a name. Madly. No, it can't be madly. Man, this is a tough one. Fancy. No, it can't be fancy. Look, the L is in the right spot. The Y is in the right spot. The A is in the right spot. Theron's like, can we please get on with it? All right, look, let's do one more guess. Badly. We already guessed badly. Why is this so hard? This one's tough, is it not? Daily seems like AILY. What else is AILY? You know what? We have to move. No, I don't think it's. No, I don't think it's ally. That's only 4 words and also in the wrong. Let's just put in daily because I think we lose this. Incorrect. Gaily. All right. Well, we have failed completely at Wordle. It's time to move on to something else that we know a little bit more about, and that is Java. Today, we have a great stream for you. We have got Rory Preddy from Java Land here to share with you about Java in VS Code. We're happy to have him. What's up, Rory?
I object to Wordle. I naturally, as a South African, am a little bit rebellious. So as a result, I haven't actually gone on that train. I've also never watched a lot of the Marvel series until I can completely binge them. So I don't even know what's happened with Hawkeye or one of the new series. I haven't even watched that new series that came out with that guy with the helmet, Peacemaker. So Wordle, I was watching. This is the first time I've seen anyone do Wordle. Now I understand what the hype is. Thank you for teaching me this. And I'm going to teach you Java today and teach you about VS Code. So you taught me something about what the hype is with Wordle, and I'm going to teach you Java today.
Now you're giving back. Well, here, I've already learned that, number one, you don't watch what everybody else is watching, and that South Africans are rebellious. I didn't know either of those two things. So that's great. So what are we doing today, Rory?
Well, you told me don't do too many slides because the audience doesn't like PowerPoint. So I've got some nice demos that we're going to do, and I can almost guarantee that one of them is going to break along the line, but that's the fun in it. Now, what I've learned being in DevRel for 10 years is that you always want to give them a challenge. You want to have the antagonist, you want the first act, third act, and fourth act. Third act, and then I messed up the second act. And then during that time, you want to have an opportunity to break a demo, fix a demo, and move past a demo. So I'm going to show you 2 demos. One is I'm going to start from nothing and go using Visual Studio Code with some of the Java extensions, build it up, deploy it to Azure, and then I'm going to do code spaces. And I know someone who rhymes, whose name rhymes with Irk, who really loves code spaces. So I've got a really nice demo for code spaces that I'm going to show him.
Geez, Rory, that's a lot, man. We've only got 6 hours between now and what's essentially, quitting time here in Central Time Zone. I don't know if you can squeeze all this in, but let's do it. You ready to go, chat? Should we do some Java in VS Code? Should we turn XML into stack traces? Have you heard that joke? Rory, have you ever heard that Java joke? Y'all, have you heard that?
I love XML. I miss every day. I miss XML. It was like it gave us so much, and then we went YAML and JSON, and all hell broke loose.
Yes, that's true. All right, cool. Let's get to it.
Okay, so the first thing I want to show you. Okay, so I've got an open editor here. I've got nothing loaded, but I've installed something called the Visual Studio Code Java extension pack, and it's just a one-click. I'm gonna install it with you again now, so I can show you. So I've downloaded it. I've got a Mac, so you can see here. I've got my downloads here, and I've just got one little app file here. And I know what you're saying. A Java developer working on a Mac at Microsoft. Yeah, the irony is not lost on me. So I've got coding pack for Java, and you can get that coding pack for Java if you go to code.visualstudio.com. Let me make that a little bit bigger, and then you want to go to Docs and Java. There we go. Let me make that a little bit bigger. You can just download that. Getting started. There's the install the coding pack for Java Mac OS, because we love Mac users, and then Windows. We tolerate the Windows users. So you download that, and we get like a 90 meg file, and that includes a version of the OpenJDK. I have my own Microsoft OpenJDK that we support, and then you can just install it on your MacBook. So let's go do that. So I've got the coding pack for Java. So I install that. And then it's going to analyze, it's going to look at your PC, and it's going to scan it in and see, okay, what do you need installed? So yes, I accept the terms and conditions. Everyone reads the terms and conditions if you didn't notice. And it says, okay, cool, I've got, do you?
Every word. Absolutely.
You're American, right? We're South African. Your jurisdiction doesn't actually uphold in South Africa. We barely have running water and electricity.
It doesn't uphold here either. I've never heard of anyone who was like, man, I never should have clicked on those terms and conditions. It ruined my life.
I own your firstborn child. Okay, so then we've got Java 17 loaded, and then Visual Studio, it's going to do that. So it's not really going to install anything, but for you, it might install something. We hit install there. It's going to install that. And so hit OK. And then everything's, and you're going to launch it. So then you launch it. And it's going to, and this is what you get here. You get it installed. Now, when you go into extensions, it's got the installed extensions. If I go Java here, you'll see there I've got the popular extensions for that's the extension pack. I've got the language support. That's the language server that does all of your IntelliSense and your parsing. I've got the debugger for Java, the test runner for Java, Maven for Java, project management for Java, and then IntelliCode. So that's what it does there. But it also installs a OpenJDK. For you JavaScript developers out there, or .NET developers, that's your .NET SDK, or your NPM or your Node runtimes. You can go view command palette, and you can go configure Java runtime. In there you'll see, well, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go back there, and let's go view command palette, and we want to go Java, and we want to go, this has changed recently. I love it when it changes just recently overnight, and I haven't actually seen that. So
well, we told them you were doing the stream, and they were like, okay, we'll reorder the items in the command palette just to make it fun
on the day. Hey, so so we can actually go in onto a project that I already got open, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So open recent, we're going to use the Spring Pet Clinic here. So then you can go view. I think it's like the command palette now is configure Java runtime per project. They don't do it for all other projects. And then this is going to actually go in and see what is my Java runtime that I've got set up for this project, and what does it match that I'm trying to actually set up. So let's just go hit refresh there. So that's the Java project. It's picked up Gradle, which is great. And then I've got the Java version, which is 1.8. So it knows that I've got a JDK installed, and it's downgraded to 1.8. Now listen, if you've got the Java 11 or 17, it can actually downgrade it, and you can use 1.8. I've also installed locally on my Mac with the global path. So if I go Java -- version, you'll see there that I've got Java 11 running there. It doesn't have to use it. You can actually set it up there if you want. But I've got the the Microsoft version of Java running with this project. So next, I'm going to pretend that we didn't open that in the beginning. I'm just going to close that folder.
Well, wait a minute. That project uses Java 1.8, and the current version of Java is 11?
It uses the actual language a version of 1.8. Now, if you use Java 17, you can actually downgrade all the way to Java 1.8. We don't break. Remember, one of the things about Java is that we hardly ever have any breaking changes. It's what the kind of the language was built on. So I can use Java 17, the JDK, but I can use a Java 1.8 project.
But does Java 1.8 even have variables? I mean, that's it's so old, because like Java 17 has
we are
generics.
based on C. We have everything that C had. So we're coming around. Okay, we're coming around. We might get generics one day. We're looking at.
I thought you had generics. Do you not have generics?
No, not really. We do something that we strip the generics off on class level, and then we make it pretty after there. Though we've just got recently records, so tuples, which are great news, and we're going to get virtual threads soon. So we've got a lot of nice new language features that we can have. And I would say it's very synonymous to C#, except for the fact we don't have those nice like link functions. So you can actually do list iteration. And then we also don't have generics. So if you can kind of equate it to that, then it's a very similar language, similar structure language also.
Okay.
Okay, so now everything's set up. I've got my language pack and I've got my Visual Studio. It doesn't have any folders open. So I want to go in and I want to take a project. Now, one of our partners, see, I'm not even going to use a Microsoft project here. One of our partners is Pivotal, and they have a nice little project there that I'm just going to take it off the bat. And this is where, things might get hairy because they might have even pushed changes recently. So we're going to take the Spring Pet Clinic project, and I've put the links in there, but you can go to Spring Projects on GitHub, Spring Pet Clinic. And I've got the GitHub desktop installed on my PC, so I can just go code and then go to local, and I can just go open in GitHub desktop, or I can just go clone it here. So I'm going to copy that URL here. So you can see there, copy, and I'm going to go back into my little thing there. And now I can go, okay, cool. You want to open folder, you want to clone a repository, or you want to open a remote repository. So I'm going to just clone a repository here, and then I'm going to paste the URL there, and then we're going to clone that URL that we get here. And where we're going to put it here, I'm going to put it in my dev folder. I'm going to put a new folder in the dev folder. I'm going to call that Burke. That's going to live there until I get the laptop back.
Rent free.
Yeah, it's never going to move that folder. Now, that's what I've noticed. Every time I do a demo and I go back, I go, why do I have a Burke folder in my PC? So I'm going to open this here.
Doesn't everybody have a Burke folder on their PC? I mean, I just assume.
You don't have a Rory folder, hey? So
you don't know that. You don't know that. Maybe so now I do.
Now it's going to pick up that I've got Maven or Gradle. Now I'm a Maven boy, so I'm going to use Maven. So I'm going to use Maven. And when it's going to do that, now it's going to start downloading the Maven repositories. Now Gradle's a bit faster because it uses least cost routing to get those dependencies. And then you don't really have to have Maven installed. It has a Maven there. And there, it's finished installed. Now you get this nice little project view here. And there's a lot of views. And we've got Java developers come from a very strong background of like seed editors. So they have these kind of opinionated takes on what they're supposed to view their project on. So there's a lot of kind of views here. So we've got the normal folder view here that you can get and the Pet Clinic, and you get all the exploded folder views there. And I like working on that because it gives you more power. You've also got no, not the outline. You've got the Java project view. So that's the Java project view here. And in that, you'll get your source main Java, source main resources, your JRE system libraries. Remember, I said I want to use the OpenJDK library. You can see there, I've actually got the reference to the OpenJDK libraries. And then I've got my Maven dependencies. Now, the project uses a POM file. The POM file pulls in all of the Maven dependencies that my Pet Clinic application, it's a Spring Pet Clinic application, is going to do. So that you can see there, my Maven dependency. I didn't have to do anything, and I've just got all of those dependencies loaded in for me. But I've got another view here also called the Spring Boot Dashboard. Now, normally on an IDE, you actually have to pay for that. This is one of the features that a lot of IDEs actually make you pay for. You can see there, I've got a Spring Pet Clinic application, and it's picked up. This is Spring. I can start it up, and I can literally go in and just go start it up. Now, I've just installed the language server, and I've got my project running, and you can see there, it's started there, 4 seconds there, and I can go to Chrome, and I can go localhost 8080, and I've got my Pet Clinic application. And in this application, you've got a list of owners that you can find, and you can take an owner who's got a pet. You can see the pet there, and then you can add a visit to a veterinarian, and that's what the Pet Clinic is. It's like a vet clinic there. You can go add a visit there, and it uses an built-in memory database called H2. So I'm going to stop that there.
Is that a
So
is that a like a relational database, H2?
We love, as Java developers, we love relational databases. Apparently, there's an object database that NoSQL people use, and we're getting on there. We're getting to that NoSQL kind of stuff there, Cosmos DB and everything. And we've introduced you .NET developers to reactive databases, made famous by the Node team, but we got it there. And then the .NET team also looked at it. So what reactive databases are, you've got your async wait databases. So you've got your library, and then it'll get the data there and push it back, and you push it back, and you get streams. And the Netflix OSS stack really made that popular, because Netflix always gives you service. You always get that bar there. And they did that by actually, streaming data through. So that's a lot of new features also that we have. But we're not going to show reactive systems here. We're just going to show you the plain old the H2 database. And if you want to see how I connect to that H2 database, in my main file, I might have a resources.file there. And then the file there, I've got some application.properties. Now, my application.properties, I can actually connect to a MySQL database. So that option on the Spring Pet link, you can swap it over to MySQL, and then also Postgres. But in my application.properties, I just choose the H2 database there. And then I say I want to build up my schema with the schema.sql and then data.sql. And then also I use a Hibernate library called JPA. And it takes all of my entities and pops them into the database in memory. Now, the nice thing about that is that Azure, when we're going to push to Azure a little bit later, can see the H2. So you can actually see the database messages flowing up and down when I push it to Azure. So those are the different views that I want to show you, and I just started here. Now I want to show you some meaty features of some of the new features. Now I sit with the Java team for Visual Studio Code, and they push out features nearly every month. And there's so many new features that you have that you can get started with that. And we're going to take you through some of those features, and we're going to learn about the application and how to get started. So the first thing I want to show you is how to edit with your files here. So we've got a lot of different options to edit here, and I want to open up the controller for the Spring controller called the owner controller, which I'm kind of familiar with here. I want to just close that there. And the owner controller lets you look at a list of owners. So if I go owners here, process find form, I can go if owner.getName equals null. And then it will actually tell me whether the owner that I got is null. Now, if you remember there, I found all the owners, but I can actually list each owner and go find each one of them. Now, when you mouse over here, you can see that the owner here, and similar to a lot of the features, other language features, you can go in there, you can get some information there, or you can control-click through to get last name, and it will open up the entity, and you can do your navigation. We've also got the getters and setters, the actual generators. You can right click here and you can go source action. You can go generate tests, constructors, organize your imports, your toStrings, your hash codes, everything that you love about Visual Studio Code, we've got when you use your Java IDE options here. We also have something called, I don't know if you're familiar with it, Github Co-Pilot. And this is magical. I use this nearly every day. So what Github Co-Pilot allows you to do, it scans your code. And with Java developers, this was pretty new that we had that. But you can literally write your own code there. So you can go, and this is if GitHub Copilot plays nice, owner dot get last name, and it'll give you the different settings there. You can see there, it's telling me that that's what most people do here. And you can actually go in and you can also go dot, and then it'll give you IntelliSense on some of the, maybe it doesn't have owner. So let's go in here. Let's go into a little bit more meaty of a thing there. Let's go pet clinic here, and let's go into the main method here. So let's go Spring application. If you hear my kids, they're budding programmers. They help me through some of these sessions. And then you can go dot run. And you see there, that's the IntelliSense that we have. So dot, and then it will scan all of the other developers of what they're used to write, and give you options of what you're supposed to write. So Spring.
Now, is that Copilot or is that
so this is IntelliSense. Yeah, so this is IntelliSense. So let's
IntelliSense or IntelliCode?
We call it, I think it's IntelliCode. No,
Yeah.
IntelliSense.
Well, I
it's
think
IntelliSense.
that IntelliCode is so there's IntelliCode, IntelliSense, and Copilot. I think we should specify the difference here. So first of all, Copilot is like the code generation tool from GitHub that no one has access to, and it makes chat very angry when we talk about it. We're sorry, chat. Listen, if I could give you all access right now, I would. It's coming, right? It's coming. So here's the other thing. IntelliSense is that little box that pops up in Visual Studio Code. IntelliCode is an AI. It's another AI tool, but it's the one that when he hits the dot there and brings up the IntelliSense, that's the one. IntelliCode looks at what everybody else is doing, looks at your code and says, and it tries to bubble the things that you might want to do next to the top of that list instead of just giving you a flat list. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did. And you actually gave me this. So I realized that now everyone's going to ping you and say, please, can you give me this also, though? But please don't take it away from me, Burke. I use it every day. Do you know what I actually use it for? I use it to write documentation on Microsoft Docs and Learns, because it scans my documentation and says, Rory, you should say this. And it actually takes that documentation, English language, and tells me what I'm supposed to write, though. So that's the IntelliSense and GitHub Copilot.
The next I want to show you. Good at that. And also Copilot, again, now that we're talking about it, did you know you can talk to Copilot? It'll talk back.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. If you create a text file and you just start asking it questions, it will respond.
Can I? Okay, we don't. Can I do that quickly? So what you ask it questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So new file.
Just make a text file.
It's test.txt. Okay,
right.
So
and now just do you have to let it give it sort of the format so that it knows. So do Q, because you're asking the question, Q. And then just say hello to Q : and then hello Copilot.
This is a Mac though, so some things don't actually work on Mac though. So it might not be activated right now. So yeah, so maybe it's working.
Hit enter. And now do A.
No. :
and write hello. Now it's you get the format. So now ask it again, do another question, Q, and ask it, what's your favorite color?
How do you spell favorite? Oh, there we go.
Question mark. Okay, so see, it's answering you.
No.
Yeah,
okay, this is really cool. I'm going to show the Java developers how to do this.
You have to do this. I've been trying to get Copilot to solve Wordle for me, but I can't get the back and forth right to get it to solve. It just recommends the same word over and over. It's like Wordle, and I'm like, no, that is not a word. And it's like Wordle. I'm like, no, it's a 5-letter word that's not Wordle. Wordle. Okay, you know what? Just forget it.
That's very impressive. So it does activate on some of the code of the Java code, and then some of it doesn't. But yeah, I'm going to show my wife that she's going to think I'm so magical. Okay, so you've got the type hierarchy. So in a normal Java class, you've got your base entity. So in this example there, we've got person. Person extends base entity, and then you've got first name for the person, and you've got owner, which might if you hear my kids. Yeah, so you've got owner extends person. So you might want to right click on owner, and you've got the normal kind of hierarchy here. So you can go to show type hierarchy. We've got some new features here that gives you the ability. This is actually very new, this hierarchy here. This has only been around for like 6 months. And you can go in there and you can do abstractions away from that and from hierarchy. And you can right click in there and you can go find usages. So find references, find super implementation, find a go-to type definition. And you've got a lot of go-to and navigation commands that you can actually get here. So that's your type hierarchy. And then you can, once you have that, you can do auto-refactoring. So I've got a little class here called, where is it? Under person. I've got speciality. Let's go find if we can see system vet. There we go. Speciality. Now, speciality might not be in vets. I can actually select speciality and I can drag speciality into system. Check this out. Now, if I do that, it's going to say, oh, do you want to move this? And it's going to go preview everywhere that speciality uses. So you can go show preview. And now you can do refactoring. And this is kind of like clever refactoring because it'll do it all for you. So I can go, yes, I want to refactor all of that. And now I can go back into my Git and it'll show me everything that it's done. Now, the actual asset test, and let me just get rid of test.txt, is if I go back in here and I take speciality back and I go back into vet, right? And then I go move that and I go show preview and I go, yes, done. There shouldn't be anything in Git, right? Because then we know, and look at that. So I've done refactoring, and teams are very important to be able to do that. Because when you have a team and you move files left and right, and you don't want to just right click and go refactor that and get it done. You want to actually go in and be able to drag and drop files and move them without having to worry about it. And this is a really new function that we've got for that. So that's one of the new features that we've got. So that's auto refactoring. And then I showed you Maven lifecycles. So Maven here, and we've got Gradle. You can just right click on the lifecycle here and you can go install and then run that there and it'll run through it here. So you've got Maven or Gradle, and Gradle's so quick. I don't want to start a Gradle Maven war here, but Gradle with the Android.
Are those the two religious factions in Java? Gradle,
it's like Vim and Emac. That really, it's like Vim and Emac.
All right, chat. Put 1 in the chat for Gradle. Put 2 for Maven. Put 3 if you are not a Java developer at all, and put 3 if you're not a Java developer, but you do have a Burk folder on your computer.
Well, I've got one. I don't even know where I put it. I'm running a Burk folder somewhere.
Team, wait, what did you say? Gradle was 1, Maven was 2. What did I say? Yes. I forget now. Okay.
And 3 is that you are not a Java developer and you've just wandered randomly onto the internet.
Right. You're watching a Java stream and you don't care about Java. Put a 3 in chat. That's awesome.
I need a friend. I want to watch a Microsoft person do Java development on a Mac.
Right, I know. And then say we tolerate Windows people. Does the Maven, I mean, you said it. Does the Maven plugin support auto downloading Java doc and sources for dependencies?
It does, hey? So you can, if you go into your source here and you want to go check in like named entity, you can go to type in a definition. So go to definition and it'll actually download, you see there that and decompile it for you in the source. So it definitely does. So whatever you normally use in an IDE, this has it there for you though. And also the paid for features like you got for the Spring dashboard. That alone is a reason to drop everything that you're doing in any IDE and do this. Remember also with Visual Studio Code, you can run .NET and Java in the same IDE because it's using an off-process language server. And I've done that many times, and Ruby and PHP, because you can run multiple polyglot systems inside Visual Studio Code. Instead of having an IDE for each language, why does he have Atom edit? Oh, I love Atom. Atom is brilliant.
It's right there in your taskbar next to like
I love Atom. Yeah. And Atom's also Atom I love for text code because it actually tells you how quickly it starts up. And I love Atom. As soon as I add an extension for that, it says you have added 4 seconds to your startup. Visual Studio Code needs to do that. So it can actually, when I add an extension, it tells me you've become fat and slow. Please make it quicker.
Does Atom do that? Does it tell you?
It does. It tells every time you add anything to Atom, it'll tell you how quick it is. So a lot of times I just use it for basic text.
I don't want to know that. This is like when you go to a restaurant and it's like the bacon cheeseburger, right? And then out to the side, it's like 1,900 calories. Like, leave that number off the menu, man.
Now go to the kitchen and see how they didn't use a smash burger. They used their actual hand to smash that burger.
How are you supposed to enjoy food if you know you're about to ingest an entire day's worth of calories?
Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. So then now we've got test explorers. We've just actually looked at rewriting the entire test explorers. Now understand this. Normal test takes a long time. Now, when you run this on with Maven test, so if I go here and I go Maven test, right? Now, what happens? I'm using Maven, which is a non-native test kind of plugin, and it's going to run through all of the tests for the Spring Pet Clinic, and it's going to take about 25 seconds to run here. Now, this is not opportune. First of all, it's running outside of your Mac OS native threads here, and it's going to run through all of those tests here. Now, what we did is that we partnered with the VS Code team to take the native tests. How long did they take? 22 seconds. So watch this side. I've got all my tests here they've got. Now I'm going to actually run it inside Visual Studio Code. And remember, it took there 22 seconds here. How long do you think it's going to take in Visual Studio Code? Well, it's going to tell you actually when it finishes all of them, 1.9 seconds. Now, Java developers, stop what you're doing right now. This is the quickest you're going to get out of any. It runs Electron on that, and there's nothing that comes close to that test performance. You saw there 22 seconds with your Maven test, 1.9 seconds with your Test Explorer. Really, is
this a thing for Java developers? Do you normally like?
This is huge. Right now, you can't even hear the clapping and the screaming and everything, but this is absolutely huge here. And one of the other things, this is like me, and like kids at Christmas, giving them gifts in here and everything. Because if there's a Java developer out there, they've suffered so much, Birkin. I'm here to take their suffering right. So I've got this Spring Pet Clinic. I want to actually go in. I want to do some new feature here. So I'm going to put a little breakpoint here. No, let's actually put a breakpoint there, right? And now I'm going to debug. So I can debug here. Except I want to add a little feature onto this. Now check this. This is some magic. On the debug feature here, I'm going to add, and this is really doing live coding here. Before the actual application runs, I'm going to add so Spring doesn't restart. So every time you make a change, it doesn't actually restart. So spring.devtools restart enabled false. So if I make a change to a class file, it won't actually pick it up. So then I'm just going to do a quick Maven install here just to make sure that class is done /d skip test, because I don't want to run the test again. And I've just got that flag. You can also add that flag into your application. Now I'm going to start my debugging, and I'm going to go into my owner controller, and we're going to do something called hot code replace.
Oh, now, somebody was asking about this earlier. There was a question about that. You go do your thing. I'm going to find it because I want to. Yo.
Yeah, I'm going to show you hot code loading now.
Okay, we're
you do that settings, and this is for Spring. Normally, I don't have to do that if this is not a Spring application. Now I'm actually going to go into my Spring Boot dashboard. No, not actually there. Sorry. I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to go debug. And now it's debugging. It's going to bring up my debug option here. And let's just wait. Okay, there it is. And now I want to go in and do a catch on it. This is a lot of demo to be doing here. I want to go find owners and find owners there, and it's debug there. So now what you'll notice here, it's doing debug here. Now I can't do hot code replace on a debug feature, so I can actually step over this. But what hot code replace is I can switch off. So if I go hot code replace, you'll see there it says I'm sorry, but not there's no changes here. So if I go into here and I go, I want to do sys out there and hello world. Now if I go hot code replace, it's going to go, no, I'm in a debug kind of like a state here. You can't hot code a project while doing that though. But what I can do is I can just switch that off there, and I can go through that. Now when I want to make a change here, I can go to George Franklin, and I can make that change on Hello World. Let's go to the output terminal there. I want to go do you remember where the output terminal is? I'm not too sure where that is. Let's stop it and start it again. And let's go into that output terminal. For some reason, I've lost. I think I'm too small, proverbially and also figuratively. And then we want to go into here, and we want to go into our Spring application. We're going to go to the debug again. Now I've activated that. I'm not going to actually have on my checkpoint. I'm going to go into my owner controller.
Chat's saying it's the debug console.
The debug console. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. And we want to go in there, and we want to see. Okay, cool. I want to go, and I love that. Whoever told me that, thank you. Yes. Now I should find my owners there. So I'm going to go find owners. Find owner, and you'll see there hello world. That's great. But now I don't want to stop the debug anymore there. I've got owner controller, and I'm going to go hello world Burke. I click hot code replace, and if the demo gods are listening,
I don't know what a world Burke is.
Yeah, then it worked there. So it just goes in hot code replace. So I hit it twice, so it's not going to do that. Now, if I go into my Chrome and I hit find owners again, and this is also a brand new feature. Wait,
why is the text size in Chrome cranked up to like 500%? Is it just me, or is it huge?
So as part of my midlife crisis, I told myself I'm going to learn Mac. I've never before learning and joining Devra, I'd never touched a Mac in my life. This force touch, I pressed it too hard once, and I thought, oh my gosh, I broke it.
Wait a minute, so you're just now on a Mac in the last couple of years?
I was 42. I thought to myself, I need to try new stuff, and I want to try Mac.
And you're already disparaging PCs and Windows. That's great. You're doing it. I think isn't that right, chat? That's like step one. You get a Mac, and then step two, you disparage everyone who doesn't have a Mac.
And I'm actually going to get a gearless bicycle. I'm going to stop milk and soil. And you're going
to work from Starbucks. You're going to have an electric bike. You're going to have a scarf on even when it's uncalled for. What are the stereotypes for Mac owners?
A phone without an actual screen, just a touch phone. And if people really want to get hold of me, they'll call me and have an experience.
It's about gestures, Rory. It's about gestures.
All right. So then you can see here now it's actually gone.
Rory, hold on. We're way over time here. There's some great comments. This might be the best comment I've seen ever in the history of the stream. I don't think this isn't even a question. It's just a statement of fact and science. Can we land this plane, Rory, for these folks? This has been the best demonstration of Java we've ever had on the stream, and also the only one. So the bar's low, but let's do this.
Okay, so the last thing I want to show you is that, okay, so I'm going to stop that there. To push it to Azure is as simple as that. I've got the Azure toolkit loaded. You can just right-click there. You go deploy to web app, and I've already got it, and I've already created the web app on Azure, though. So I just right-click there, and it's got me logged into Azure. It's going to say what web app you want to do. I've got the web app already there, Spring Pet Clinic app installed. It's going to bundle everything for me. My Maven file understands Maven, and it's going to go deploy, and that's it. And then it's going to actually take it through let's go yes there, and I've got it installed already there, so I can just go Spring. Let's go on my Azure portal, the cloud of choice. And I've got it installed there, and let's go find that URL. We'll come back to that quickly there. So I've got app services here on Spring Pet Clinic, the application. And if you don't want to install it yourself manually, Visual Studio Code can actually install all of those app services. So, and then I've got the Spring Pet Clinic application there. And you can just click on there or stop it. And the nice thing about these, you can actually stop it there. And I can just click through on the Pet Clinic application. And I pushed this earlier today. There's my app right now that I've got. Now, if I go find owners here, and I can find the owners, that has end-to-end tracing. So if I go here and I've got my end-to-end tracing. So if I go to, let's just go to, I want to go application insights. Remember that H2 database? So just 2 seconds that I've got left there, Burke. I can go view application insights. Now I can prove to you that I'm running an H2 database, because on the application map, without me doing anything, it's got end-to-end. It's got the last hour there that we did. It's going to pick up those transactions, but it's got end-to-end distributed tracing. Let's just go back actually for the last 12 hours there. End-to-end distributed tracing for the transactions that we have here. So let's make that a little bit smaller there. And okay, so I did just push it there, but you can actually click through there. It's still kind of picking up the transactions there. You can view it in that log, and that's how easy it is to actually. There we go.
There
There's
it
my
is.
SQL.
Other.
There,
It's in the other.
it was waiting for me. So it is. I think it's. I only tested this now, so it's actually waiting for me to actually go in, and it's using that ingress data there. And I can investigate the performance, and it's got end to end with the distributed tracing there. Yeah, so there we go. 148 samples. Woof! I hope someone hasn't been hitting that. And yeah, then get that transaction
Denial
with
of
that.
service on the pet clinic. Is it pet clinic? Did I get that right?
Yes.
All right, look,
yeah, so,
Rory. Couple more questions, comments here from chat. More Java, please. I feel like I'm the only Java developer using VS Code sometimes. Not true. Not true. I think
we have 1.5 million
yeah.
users that are using it right now. 1.5
Also,
million people.
Fun fact, folks. The fellow who runs the engineering for VS Code is named Eric Gamma. And Eric worked on Eclipse. I believe he was one of the folks who created Eclipse back in the day. And so, like, that's old school Java, isn't it? I mean, wasn't Eclipse like the original Java IDE?
Do you know where IBM got the name Eclipse? So when Visual Studio came out, IBM wanted to create an IDE that would eclipse Visual Studio. And then they started naming it after all celestial stars. They still kept the name. We deal with them with we have the Azure toolkit. But
like Ganymede, and I remember I used to do Flex development, and we had to use Eclipse, and I don't miss it. So anyway, hold on, wait. Let's see here.
But here's your end-to-end transaction here with all your owners here. So I just pulled it up, so I can get all of the owners that I find, and also the databases for that. And it's just out of the box. Any database you point at, service bus, MQs, it will just find their process find for. And I just pushed it there. This is the actual transaction we get. You can actually see the date there. That's 6:44. That's my PM on my time, which is exactly that though. So this is the live transaction we just pushed there.
So Rory, what kind of code formatting tool are you using for Java?
I use the basic one that comes with. You can use any of the tools that we have though. The standard one that we have is based on the kind of the Eclipse format. So if you go here and you select everything here, and you can go right here and you can go source actions, reformat, format document here, or you can go format with selection. You can go format, and it will use the basic Eclipse kind of style, but you can go in and use all of your own ones that you want to. I know that some developers like the bracket below, C-styled brackets, those. You can change that there. You can put it in your settings. You can put it to Teams and use your Git repositories to actually share all of those settings.
Did the bracket on the same line or bracket below is like the existential debate of the century. I remember
People
the first
have died. People have died in wars over this.
In JavaScript, you never, ever put it on the next line, lest you let on that you're not a real JavaScript developer, whatever that means. But it's quite the thing. Also, thank you for using a dark theme on behalf of chat. Chat tends to get really angry if you use a light theme. Thank you for not doing that. Somebody tweeted once, they said there's only two kinds of people who use dark themes and people who are not real developers. And I thought, that's harsh. That's harsh, because I use a light theme. I don't feel that way. Bracket below is just devilish. Yeah, no, what? Yeah, I agree. I feel like Rayhan, we're putting your comments up too much. All right, you're getting too much attention, and we got to move on. Antonio, I think it'd be good to put Maven goal on default execution using F5 or integrate Java FX. I don't understand this at all, Rory, because I don't know anything about Java.
He mentioned Java FX, and one of the things that we've just brought in here. So if I go into a new project here, so I go close folder, check this out. And this is so brand new. And if I go file, new project here, create Java project, check this out. I've got all of these initializers, these wizards that you can actually use. So I've got no build tools. I can create from a Maven project, Gradle, Spring Boot, Quarkus, microprofile, but check this out. Brand new this week, Java FX.
Oh, there it is.
So you can get full Java FX. Not only that, it's got the documentation. You can do prototyping directly in Visual Studio Code. Only a week old.
Antonio, I hope that gives you everything that your heart ever desired. I don't know that it does. But again,
I just made
his
his year actually with that.
All right, so we've got a couple folks asking about Kotlin. Rory, do you do any Kotlin? Isn't that how you build Android apps? Is that right?
So most of these Spring samples that we use are actually also written in Kotlin, and Kotlin is a lovely language. It kind of forward engineers to either Java or also JavaScript. And Kotlin is one of those productivity languages. When they built Kotlin, they said, okay, some nuances. We're going to wait for Java to evolve, but we're going to have some language features in Kotlin that are going to evolve quicker. So they did like,
Does Kotlin have generics?
And lambdas and getters and setters and a lot of things that we waited very long time. So we've got those now, but it's obviously because we've got backward compatibility with Java, we're never going to break anything. Remember what I showed you? I can run my project in 1.8 and with Java 17. And, we can be guaranteed that there's conformity to that because we have these kind of strict rules that when you create a new Java OpenJDK version, you conform to these standards. But there've been some other of our children who have gone outside of that, some Scala, Kotlin, and, the Microsoft version of Java. I like to call it C#, who have actually gone and evolved quicker than Java.
So, one last question, and then we're out, chat. But how do you keep yourself motivated to learn code despite being so intermediating advice for beginners, please? So,
yes.
Well,
so I actually write code on Microsoft Docs and Learns. So I've got the Java Learn path. You can go in and learn that. So aka.ms/Java Learn path. And this is what I do for a living. And this is why I use GitHub Copilot. And this is a Microsoft Learn path. You can even get a badge. We have 3 of these. This is the beginner one. Get started with Java. And you can see the introduction to Java on Azure, all those services, choosing the right Java Azure, Spring Boot, Java Web App, microservices, real-time, Jakarta EE, containerization, migration, and that. And this is what I do. Now, what I find is that when you learn something well enough to teach it, it's never boring because you have to really kind of go deep inside it. One of the things I'm learning now is the Spring integration libraries, along with our Spring team. And I'm rethinking on how you use aspect orientation code because I'm going to have to teach it to people. And I'm looking at how they do aspect orientation code with injection, with all of their constructors. And it's marvelous because I can see code again when you start to teach and to give to others.
So, Rory, where would you recommend for people that want to learn Java, that don't know Java at all? Or maybe they're like, I see Calvin here is going to be doing Java this semester. Where can people go to learn about Java itself, right? What would you recommend for people who want to learn the language?
So the easiest way, so I used to work in a large consultancy that used to train 30,000 developers a year. And in that, we used to actually teach people a language a day, Python, Java, C#, C. But we used to do it in a way that was almost kata-like, like martial arts. And we used to call them koans. So if you go in there and you type into your search engine Java koans, you'll get there, and that maybe the developer there, and you can learn Java in a day, the whole language features, everything about it. You can go to MediB, Java Cones, and in that there, it will actually give you, it gamifies the entire language. Now, C#'s got this, Ruby's got this, Kotlin's got this, the Kotlin Cones, and you can learn it quickly. It's kind of just like a little editor there, and it says, here is the challenge, please go write it. Similar to like a Minecraft with, you have to go past the zombies and everything. In this here, the text editor here gives you the instructions, and then you just run this and execute it, and you learn the language. And the code here, if you go into the source here, it's written in actual Java. In the beginning, about arrays, it'll give you a challenge, and then you have to just go in and replace that little eclipse there. And then you can learn it. Now, once you know how to use koans, you can learn any language in a day, because it quickly teaches you the ability to do that. It doesn't mean that you can write the code of large monolithic applications, but the language itself should take you very little, and this is a great way to do that. And if you want to go to Kotlin Cones, so you can go Kotlin Cones there. I just wanted not with that there. If you go to Kotlin Cones here, there's a nice little online here. Kotlin's wonderful language here. You can go Kotlin Cones here, and you can go this. You can do it online. This is a great that you can do a cotton cone start now. And the cotton cones there, you say hello world, and you can go answer this here, and you can go print fun start equals to do, and then you can go answer here, and it'll tell you where on how you do that. C# cones, Python cones, all of this are available. And this is how I used to teach. And 30,000 developers a year, we should just push them through here. And they used to learn a language in a day. That was our benchmark.
So there you go, chat. Chat, won't you thank Rory for being here with us today? Rory, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you being here. I mean, you put a lot into the time we had, and you put a lot into the time that we didn't have, right? You took an extra 25 minutes, which I think is great. This might be our longest stream to date. Thank you for being here. Y'all, check out this Getting Started with Java on Azure Learning Path. Producer, do we have a link that we can throw up for people there? I don't know if we created a... You said you had an AKA, Rory. It's like
yes, so you can go aka.ms
/ Java-learn path.
Yeah, Java. As you can see, I'm using Java-learn path.
So check that out. Also, y'all, look, next week, March 3rd is Wednesday, VS Code Day 2022. It's going to be freaking awesome, and it's a completely new format. We talked a lot about it. Go register today. If you haven't registered, definitely register today. Space is limited. That's a lie. It's unlimited. So definitely go register today. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Can you still like things on YouTube?
You can, but you can't dislike.
You can dislike. You just can't see how many people disliked it. Right? I don't know. We won't discuss the politics of YouTube on this stream. That's the next stream. Thank you so much for being with us, chat. As always, we love to see you, and we hope that you have a phenomenal rest of your day and weekend, and we'll see you back here next week. Bye.
Cheers, everyone.